Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, the Game Dude, and I'm here, celebrating this Friday the 13th and everything with, of course, the Friday the 13th collection from Screen Factory that I showed in my last video. But I'm also here to show you this. Probably didn't show in my last video, but in case you don't know, this is, of course, the video game. It's a multiplayer-only game, which you think I wouldn't have because I'm not really that much into multiplayer games, really. But mostly used offline mode and everything, which is fine. I just wish I could play cam counselors more and everything, which, it would be fun, but the fact that the AI on the cam counselors is a bit screwy, maybe it's the best thing that, Jason is in the same way because it kind of ruined the whole horror aspect, I guess you could say. But as you can see, it's the Xbox One edition. Pretty good. Bought it recently. For some reason, this thing came with a disc and everything, which was surprisingly because you only see the poster only on the Ultimate Slasher Edition. But it's fine. It was cool to have when it came with it. Probably hang it up sooner or later. And as you can see, it's my collection from Screen Factory, the deluxe edition. Pretty good artwork and everything. Just wanted to show you this because pretty good. I'm not gonna show the whole thing because this video is not gonna be that long. Because but I wanted to get my rundown of it. The first one, well, as much as I hate to say, I don't really like it as much as the other ones. I appreciate it for what it is and everything. It's just like had too many slow scenes, especially in some stuff where I didn't need it. I get with some slow scenes that the help create tension and everything, especially how someone wants to slow down and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I kind of like it, kind of like the ones more than the first one. I like two, which was a lot like the first one, but thankfully they fixed some of the things from the first one. Like the third one because they introduced Jason with his hockey mask and all. Fourth one is my absolute favorite and everything, especially with the way Jason's costume looks like in the first one. First one looks like in the third one, but more damage and everything, which I think was cool and everything. And five is pretty underrated. Six is pretty good for what it is. I wouldn't call it the best. Seven is of course the greatest and everything, but these are the ones I sadly don't count because the new ones kind of ruined it with these ones. Part 8, well, even if all the New York stuff was in it, because I mean it's not a pretty good story and everything, especially one that didn't make sense. So there's that. I never saw any of the new lines. I never saw X. Well, actually, the only ones I saw was I haven't seen Freddy versus Jason. I never saw the year 2009 one that much. I only saw the two, which, to give you my honest opinion, it stinks. Like it just sucks and everything. Like Jason Goes to Heaven is like the worst of them all because the canon and everything of what they had to do. It's like stinks and everything. The whole Deadite thing, which didn't make sense. It was stupid. It really didn't need to get made. I know some people like Jason X and everything because it's the closest thing we get to a Paramount Jason, especially close to that. But I don't think it would. I don't think it was done well, especially when they added sci-fi and everything, which didn't make sense. But hey, King Hodder came back. It was probably his last role, but pretty good for what it was. Like I said, never saw the other two. Probably never tend to because like I said, New Line trying to hold the ball, but it fumbled pretty badly. But if I had to pick the best Jason looking Jason, it would be a tie between Part 4 and a bit of Part 7. But if I had to choose for human Jason, it would definitely be Part 4 because because I like to believe that's what he really looked like throughout 2 and 3, despite people saying that his face changed and everything. But if you really look at some theories and everything, it could make sense that it could be all just in both Ginny's and of course in Chrissy's head at the time, because they were like both going through traumatic things. And let's not forget Ginny's was a dream when we saw his face, and whereas Chrissy, she had traumatic experience with a guy who pretty much had kind of like a morphed face. It was possible she confused Jason with the other one person. That's my theory, and it kind of makes sense or whatnot. And plus, when we saw his full face off with the mask with bleeding and everything, it was technically her dream. So, but I like to believe that she projected her attacker's face onto Jason's. That way, we got her confused. That's kind of like part four is better with the, because it really was what part one's face looked like if he was 30 years old, which pretty good. But for Undead Jason, part seven is obviously the best because it looks like he's been through so much damage in many movies, with the knife slashes, the axe mark still there. In fact, he's pretty much a rotting corpse with his eye gone, all that stuff. He's pretty much have bones exposed and everything, which I think looks cool, very very cool. But if I had to pick one for New Line Jason, none of them really look good. I mean, yeah, I kind of like Jason's concept in part 9 of Go to Hell because he looked more diseased and everything, which was fine, but still. But it's not the best, especially since he wasn't even in it that much. Like barely, like no more than like 15 minutes, I guess. I think. So, but yeah, this is a collection. I recommend you get this and everything. If you want the 10 set collection, they still want the 10 collection. I recommend you still get that because it pretty much has its own things, unlike what this thing doesn't have, including the whole Crystal Lake Memories documentary that's in here. That's surprisingly this set doesn't have, which is sad. Very sad, but But yeah, I just wanted to make this short video to tell you guys happy Friday the 13th, and I'm filming this at night, so it's a bit more better to help with the atmosphere and everything. If only I can do this in the dark, but that'll make the camera make very wonky things. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So yeah, happy Friday the 13th and happy birthday, Jason Voorhees. Happy birthday.